So after this open CDC came in, most of the people, those who thought कि यार open CDC करके चला जाऊँगा, and they join shipping, sir. Sir, in a good company, they are unemployable, sir. They cannot speak even 3 sentences in English.
That is difficult.
They cannot write 3 sentences in English, not speak, not write. Sir, how will a good shipping company employ them? In the last 2 to 3 years, there has been sudden influx of Indian, female seafarers. Every company wants a female seafarer. Not, I'll be very honest, sometimes I feel, sometimes not even looking at competency at times.
No, that should not be the case. Yeah.
Sometimes I do feel, because today companies are not saying that I need a good girl candidate. 20 girl candidates are there, we want them all. 25 girl candidates, we want them all. Now, hi everyone, Jai Hind, Jai Bharat, Jai Mata Di. Welcome to another podcast at Merchant Navy Decoded, and today I've got a very special guest, and sir is Sivanand Ray sir, who is the global crewing head of Pacific Basin. Now, बहुत सारे लोगों ने might not have heard about Pacific Basin. In this podcast, we'll know more about Pacific Basin. We'll know about sir's journey, because most of you, when you watch this podcast, आप लोगों को पता होगा it is all about sailing in merchant navy. No, it is not. It is much more beyond that. Sir started as a sailor, sailed for a few years, then became a technical superintendent, then senior technical superintendent in various shipping companies, and then he became a fleet manager. What is fleet manager? You might not know that. And then today he is a crewing global head. Now, another thing that you'll get to know is that today Pacific Basin is hiring from Philippines, Chinese and Indians. So there will be a lot of questions that we'll be asking about why Filipinos, why Chinese, why Indians, why not so much Indians, from where is Pacific Basin hiring. About today, most of the shipping companies are gung-ho about hiring more female candidates. Why so in the last 2 to 3 years? And what are the challenges happening with that as well? And in the meantime, lot of other questions might crop up as well. So let's just start. Welcome to my podcast, sir.
Thank you, Puneet. Thank you for having me here. It's a very nice opportunity to connect with you and see the seafaring community of Dehradun, which was quite impressive actually.
Thank you, sir. It was a lovely opportunity, guys. Pacific Basin wanted to conduct an event for all the seafarers out here in Dehradun. And I got an opportunity. The moment I got to know Sivanand sir is coming, मैं भी पूरी जान लगाऊंगा. Why? The simple reason is, if it turns out well, maybe next year or next to next year they come up again, and then again maybe another podcast might happen, right? With the scenario changing in the global shipping industry, we would love to know more. So, sir, I hope you enjoyed the seafaring event yesterday, sir.
It was a great event actually. We were quite impressed, as I told you. Very nice to connect with a lot of seafarers here.
Sir, I love the gifts that you gave. So the bag, the diary. There was a fight at my home happening. Mera beta keh raha, I will keep the diary. My wife is saying, no, you will not keep. Your father will keep the diary. This is a good diary. Along with that one, thank you very much for that, sir.
Welcome.
So the best part about that event was that I came a bit late. I'm sorry, sir. Coming from Vaishno Devi, I was a bit. I had a lot of cramps in my leg. I came late. But the moment I entered, I saw that the event is going on. Even at 7:30, there is a bar opened up. And there is music, live music, and everybody is talking to each other. So I went, मैंने बोला, what about the event? कहते event finish. मैंने बोला finish मतलब? कहते they came for 4-5 minutes. They just told about Pacific Basin for 4 minutes and said, okay, this is meet and greet. And sir, what an amazing way to connect. Rather than showing those boring slides, telling community who we are.
Actually, we didn't come here for any sales pitch. We just wanted to meet the people, and we wanted to just highlight that we are here. There is an opportunity for them. The new company is there already last 3 years in Indian pool, and this can just expand their horizons. So we have not actually come here to poach people or have a recruitment drive.
Right, sir.
It's just that we wanted to connect, improve our visibility, so to highlight the options people have in this market.
Okay, great. Sir, even before we start about your journey, let's start about the company that you are representing, that is Pacific Basin today. And so tell us a bit more about Pacific, because honestly, even I do not know much.
Pacific Basin is basically a bulk carrier company. We have 112 ships as of now in water, and Pacific Basin is listed in the Hong Kong Stock Exchange. So this started about more than 30 years back, and the history goes long back. And then what has happened is, we started recruiting only Chinese seafarers initially. Then after 10 years, the Filipinos came in. So there was a balance of about say 90-10 or 80-20%. In COVID, we saw that this combination was not very effective from the sustainability point of view, because the geopolitical conditions and the restriction for seafarers signing on, signing off created a lot of issues for us. So we weren't mentally prepared for this. Of course, the whole world was not prepared for COVID. So that's when it opened our eyes. And fortunately, that time we bought 4 ships, bulk carriers from Scorpio. They were selling all their bulk fleet. And it so happened that they asked what will happen to these seafarers, the Indian seafarers who have lost those ships. So that's when the top management decided, why not we take the ships with the seafarers. So we signed a manning agreement with Scorpio in 2021. So that was the beginning of our entry into the Indian pool. Actually, we never required because we were quite sufficient with Chinese and Filipino. So we never ventured. The top management was happy with their performance. So we didn't want to add an extra pool. But after we added, we saw a difference. We saw the quality of Indian seafarers coming in. Our operations chartering team, they realized the potential because they were not exposed. They knew about Indians, but they didn't have the hands-on experience. So when they started working with the Indian masters, Indian chief engineers, they were quite impressed with the level of knowledge compared to Chinese and Filipino. I'm not saying that they're a little down or whatever, but they were quite impressed with the Indian seafarer quality. So that's the reason we then expanded from 4 in 2021 gradually to about 21 ships in 2023-24. So then we said, okay, let's go up to 21 ships, hold on and watch the retention, retainability, sustainability and all these factors. And then we see how to expand. So we, as of now, the pool distribution is about 60% Filipino-Ukrainian combination, 20% is full Chinese, and the remaining 20 is full Indians. So the ships are there. It's how you are now managing between the baskets, so that we maintain a good retention and from a sustainability point of view. Actually.
Hi guys, I hope watching this podcast is inspiring you to make your own journey very successful. For making a successful journey, you need to have a successful career, and for that I would recommend go visit our website Merchant Navy Decoded, one-stop solution to all your queries, whether you are a Merchant Navy aspirant or whether you are sailing or whether you want to quit. Go explore the website yourself and find out those value-added courses which can make your life very comfortable on ship and make you an asset on board ship as well. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat, Jai Mata Di. Now this is I'll start with small learning lessons between the podcast itself. What did we learn from this simple statement coming? They started with 4 ships. The seafarers out there on those 4 ships, I thank you immensely, because guys, you were responsible for creating jobs for another 16 ship carrying seafarers,
Absolutely,
right?
absolutely.
You did an immensely great job, and that today the company had the confidence in Indian sailors, and then they said, okay, we'll expand our pool from 4 to 20, right sir?
Absolutely, absolutely.
So that is where when any Indian seafarer goes on any ship out there and he says, Arey, if I do something wrong, what will it do? It creates a black spot in the mindset of the owners out there like Indians are not good. And if you do an amazing job, guys, they are looking out there.
Absolutely.
You are creating jobs for so many people out there जो कि कह रहे हैं कि job नहीं, we need jobs. So please, when you go out there with that Indian community tag on board ship, we need to respect that thing. And I'm saying that as not as a leader, guys. अभी मैं realize कर रहा हूँ talking to people like you, sir. Because when I was a seafarer, I thought, what will I do? What effect can one person like me make? But now I'm realizing that when 4 ships with say around a crew of 80 people can make a difference, that maybe 800 more people can get employed. It's an amazing thing to have, sir.
Correct. Because every seafarer is actually brand ambassador of his country.
Yes, sir.
So whatever his actions will actually tell, and then people are watching him actually, from respect to safety, accidents, all these things. So if you are a safety conscious individual or a seafarer, that reflects on your entire brand.
Right. Sir, you are a very senior to me in college. Like you passed out in 94, I passed out in 2008, 14 years difference. You got job in college only because your seniors did a good job on ship.
Absolutely.
You guys did a good job on ship as seniors. We got jobs. If we did good, our juniors got job. So it's a cycle that is continuing. So each one of us has a moral responsibility to do well with the money that we are getting. We have to make sure that the value is added for that money that we are getting, right, sir?
100%. Because I remember after we passed out, we had this IT boom, in way 2000 when the Y2K and all came in. A lot of DMET boys, they did not join seafaring. They had better options or different options. Now that caused a very big sort of a discontent in the community, the crewing companies. So they thought that people are leaving. The retention and sustainability came into question. So they took again some time to go back to their branding, that DMET people can actually sail and continue sailing. So that's what the branding is very, very important.
So though this will be a long podcast, but you have said 2 important things up till now. It is retention and sustainability, and you have said it twice.
Yes.
Now what I understand by retention is कि भैया generally what happens is suppose you hire someone, you would want to have a future with that person.
Absolutely.
That is retention. If that person jumps from one company to another, then that retention thing is gone.
Right.
What does sustainability mean over here?
Sustainability for us is how the pool, you have a regular supply of newer individuals, also new seafarers coming in. You should have new cadets coming in, new juniors coming in, and then the progression, the career progression keeps taking place. So then there is a continuous flow right from a cadet to a master or chief engineer. So then once you can achieve that flow, then you know that this pool is sustainable. Anywhere in between something comes out, like if you stop getting cadets, then it's not a sustainable pool because there's no future.
The cycle needs to be there, and that is where when you're talking sustainability, that is where the big question comes in, sir. Today, every company is looking for fourth engineers. No, not even fourth, straight away third engineers.
Correct.
They are not employing cadets. Now, how can you look at a future in a long-term plan where there is only third engineer, you're not looking for even investing on fourth engineer, leave alone cadets? But isn't it such a short-term goal that we are looking at, and why is it so wrong with the community, sir, today?
Actually, it's nothing wrong. We cannot blame the crewing agencies or even the management companies. It's all, this onus starts with the owners. The owners to place cadets, to take that cost to company should start from the owners. We as a owner, we feel that we need to invest into cadets, because if you don't do that, that's basically you're creating a dark future. You will not have an abundant supply later. So we budget for 2 cadets per ship every year, and it doesn't matter whether these cadets stay with us or they leave, because we are giving it back to the seafaring community, to the fraternity. Now that's sort of our social responsibility. Now these cadets will eventually become masters and chief engineers, and in between through the intermediate ranks. Now if you stop doing that, then you will have these momentary shortages. Now if you refer to all these Dury reports, every year they keep mentioning 50,000, 60,000 shortage of officers. Now this has been created by the shipping companies themselves, because they haven't invested into cadets at the earlier stage. So this is where the problem is. That's where the lacuna in the system is. Now it might be a little controversial to say that you should force all the companies to take. Now you cannot blame third-party management for it, because I have been there for about a decade. We only follow the owner's requirements. Otherwise you will be out of the market. You won't be that kind of competitive. So it all begins with the owners. They have to understand that this is their responsibility to give it back to the community. And again, here we also expect from the political side also, the countries like India and Philippines, who are the biggest manpower suppliers, the government should force these companies that if you want a license to work, to recruit, then you must invest into these cadets. You must recruit all the cadets who pass out of these colleges. Because it's very, very painful to see a person doing 3 years, 4 years in a college, spending so much money with so much of aspirations, and then finally he is not placed on board. If you ask me, that's the most criminal thing to do. You are crushing a person's dreams. We just did this Crew Connect seminar we attended last month in Manila. It was a very horrifying report which came out that they pump in about 40,000 cadets every year, but only 6,000 of them actually make it on board. So it is so sad, and there's so much of aspirations, their hopes are dashed. And then if you continue with this, what will happen is people will get a wrong notion about the seafaring industry, that there aren't enough jobs. So then eventually lesser people will join.
Long-term plan is going to kill shipping.
So you have to always show the bright light, which is very important. If you show the darker side, then there's no future at all. Then we can always complain that there are not enough seafarers. There are so many people who want to join the sea, but you have to make a very clear pathway for them. Otherwise, you can always complain, I have this shortage, that shortage. But what are we doing to address these shortages?
No, sir, we are making a lot of reports are happening, but ground level, this is the basic problem. Even I tell, sir, me being a small coaching institute at JMD Academy, we conduct seminars around 100 to 150 schools every year. Along with that, our social media responsibility, guiding people, we are doing it at a great level, good level. But sir, there are a lot of maritime colleges, a lot of shipping companies out there in India. How many colleges are conducting so many seminars? If a coaching institute like this can do, why can't you? But sometimes I feel it's such an appalling thing to say, sir. But I see my marketing team is bigger than the marketing teams of 95% of maritime colleges that we have.
Yes.
So if you are not going to invest on telling people about what is merchant navy, the thing is, out of 140 crore people, only 60,000 people want to join merchant navy.
Very less numbers, very less numbers.
8 lakh people want to join NDA. And sir, NDA everybody knows army, but army, Indian Navy. But still those people invest. You go to a picture hall, you stay there and they will show you an amazing slide of Indian Navy or Armed Forces Navy. They do that because they want good candidates. What are we doing?
Actually, we are still not improving the visibility. We are not showcasing how merchant navy can actually impact your lives. We all have started very low in our lives, and then we have gone up the ladder. And we are very thankful to merchant navy for
Thanks to merchant navy, sir.
This is one of, I would say, rated as one of the best professions in my life. What I have seen, I can vouch for it. But fortunately or unfortunately, we don't see this, progressing because visibility is low. People are not aware. In my time, I remember in 1990 when I joined DMT, there used to be one films division video on TS Chanakya, TS Rajendra and DMT. And that was the only thing available. But of course, that time you only had Doordarshan, so many people saw it and got motivated to join. And it was again word of mouth from the seniors and from your relatives and other things. But today, in this age of social media, we should be able to capitalize and expand the net. People are there, people want to join, but that awareness level is very low. They are sometimes getting a wrong picture about employability. And that is very wrong. There are ships, there is a shortage, so you need to fill in those blanks. And I think that's where the companies and the government should work together to create these opportunities. People want to join, but then they don't have that clear pathway.
Agreed, sir. And sir, sir, today through Merchant Navy Decoded YouTube channel, I am trying to create that trust and gain that trust and create that awareness out there. But sir, I alone cannot do it. So today, DG Shipping has got so much. They have got money, they have got power, they have got resources. If they try and say, okay, we'll make a team and conduct maybe in 500 schools, we'll conduct seminars across the country. Similarly, MTI says 100 schools I will do. Similarly, a company says we will conduct in 50 schools. So that is how awareness will be created. People will get to know about Merchant Navy. And when I say this, I want to tell them the real picture. Show them a scavenge space, oily boiler suit, a man with the oil-soaked hands coming out and telling this is what is Merchant Navy. 50 degrees centigrade working is not easy, but still we'll find hungry people out
Absolutely.
there. Those who need these jobs.
Yes.
Those who need these jobs.
Absolutely. There are many people who need these jobs because you cannot have all people working for the white collar jobs or desk jobs. You need somebody to run the ships. Ships transport more than 80 to 90% of the cargo. Who will man these ships?
Agreed, sir. 100%.
And now if India backs out, you will have other countries coming over. Africa can take over. Philippines is already on the leading front. So you are losing out to other nations where you have the capability, you have the drive.
And we need also, sir.
Absolutely.
There is a need also,
there
sir.
is a shortage, created shortage. So that's what I'm saying. So it was very nice to see all these bright young boys in your academy who have that, starry eyes about merchant navy, fire in the belly to do something. That was something very impressive actually. But what you said is right. This needs to be expanded. You need to go all across India. And for you to do that is humanly maybe impossible. Of course, the institutes should also pitch in, so that more awareness, more visibility will help attract more manpower.
Right, sir. And the idea is out here is not visibility about Merchant Navy, pros, cons, telling them which is the right way to join, right colleges, everything. And that is where, sir, that is our responsibility. So coming back to the Pacific Basin again, it's an ownership company.
Yes.
And you have worked with management companies as well throughout your career. You have sailed with a management company, then you became a technical superintendent, senior technical superintendent, all with management companies. And today it's been 11 years you are with a ownership company. So if I ask you, what are the differences between an ownership company and management companies? And you can tell the good points about management companies also, cons about management companies, pros, and also pros and cons about ownership companies. So.
Yes, actually I have done a balance. I have done about a decade with third party and more than a decade with ownership now. So if you ask me from my perspective, it's much easier to work for an ownership company because decisions are made very quickly. You don't have to ask too many permissions. You're in the same office with the CEO, CFO, all the directors of chartering, operations, technical. So it's a very quick approval process in case you need to take a decision. And then the most important thing what I found, the difference between management and ownership is that the commitment towards the seafarers. If you ask me from the ownership perspective, the owners are very committed to the seafarer because end of the day they realize that these are our assets. Apart from the ships. And these are the assets who run the ship. They are actually the face of the company. So in Pacific Basin, the seafarer is very important to us. He's very close to us. I'm not saying this doesn't happen in third party. Third party also, they take care. They do a considerable amount of crew welfare, and that connection with the crew is there. But then sometimes the third party gets burdened with their owners' requirements and owners' budget. So to be competitive in the market, they might have to sway a little bit to meet their demands. So that might take a toll on the behavior of the company with the seafarer. So it's not intentional, but it's subjective to owner's demand. But in an ownership, it's much easier. So, and then also from the seafarer's perspective, he also feels that there's more of a commitment. Our slogan is with you for the long haul. So again, with respect to cargoes and cargo carriers, it's also with the seafarers. We want our seafarers to be with us for a very long time. Now we could see that in China and Philippines, who have been with us 20 years plus, because they found that they get everything what they need from this company. So there's no need to go anywhere. And they were all homegrown. They joined us as cadets, today they are masters. They said, I don't need to look elsewhere. I'm happy with what I get. It's a market-driven salary, top of the market wages, fantastic behavior from the office. It's the employees to employee relationship, the shore employee talking to the seafarers. That actually is the main difference. So he gets that sort of a bonding. The social bonding is very high. So that is something which makes a difference in the crewing market. Otherwise, everybody is selling the same thing. It's like a market where you have the same vegetables at the same price, but you choose to go to those certain vendors whom you like, whom you connect socially, and you get that good feeling. The feel-good factor actually goes in the long run to maintain a bond between the seafarer, the company, and the owner.
Sir, I remember when I was working with Sea Line, it's an ownership company, small company, they had just 7 to 8 ships. But sir, the amazing part was paperwork was very less. Directly connecting with the owners was easy. And there were people who were sailing there for 25 years, 30 years, and they say, "Arey, मैं owner को जानता हूँ." They know the owner
that
directly.
confidence, yeah.
That confidence was there. Most important thing was, sir, I signed up from one ship, I went to another ship. "Arey, कैसा है? मैं उस ship पे मिला था." Because it's a small family,
yes.
You know each other out, which was amazing part. The only challenge out there was, I'm just telling, was that the promotions were slightly slow, and also waiting was high because the ships were less, yes. 7 to 8. In your case about Pacific Basin, what about the waiting? Because as Indian, sir, I am always looking forward towards growth.
Correct.
The moment I went to a management company and there are sufficient number of ships, I stayed there till the time I became a chief engineer. And then if I would have stayed longer, then I would have looked for again an ownership company, because if I would have wanted to stay longer, क्या promotion हो गया भाई? Now look for sustainability and look if you want to sell, because there is no scope of further growth. Sustainability, देखो एक ambience where you can live like a family person.
So in PB, as I said, we have this distribution 60-20-20 between the nationalities. But these ships are all owned by us, and they are all similar kind of ships, similar procedures on board. So in case we are not able to exactly place you, we can shift you to a Filipino pool. So it's the same ship for you, it will make no difference, same salary, same environment. So you always have the option of swapping. So if you have an NRI problem or something, you need to join immediately. We can put you on a Filipino ship, you sail with them, finish your 4 months, 6 months contract, come back again. So then of course we try to improve our crew planning, so that we try to plan well in advance as the time he signs off, so that he can be placed on time, because you have to meet the seafarer's demand, because they are coming with a purpose. They have got mortgages, EMIs, they have family plans, they have a lot of other things which you need to address. You need to understand them. So from the crewing perspective, we stay connected with them, so that he keeps updating us. I have to go for a holiday, or I have to come back, or I have to join, I have my daughter's wedding this time. So we fill our slots accordingly. So that's the thing. That's where the ownership is, that it's more of a family kind of a thing, so you try to connect with them.
What about growth prospects, sir, from a seafarer's point of view, if I may ask you?
Yeah, because as you said, we do have we encourage promotions, and we try to build the homegrown talent. That's why we take so many cadets and then try to build them up. And then of course those cadets are on a fast track promotion, because it's easier for them to blend with the company rather than taking somebody from outside. But of course we need to pitch in sometimes. But then the cadets who are with us, they are on a much faster track compared to other companies, because they know our systems, they're more comfortable. So growth is always there. It's again as per the number, and then we swap it between the pools, so then we can accommodate.
See, guys, if you personally ask me, I worked in ownership company and I worked in a management company. From a seafarer's point of view, I would always prefer a good ownership company. because there are a few ownership companies, those who are not so good as well. I know a few, sir. So, but some are doing amazingly good as well. So I hope Pacific Basin lies in that criteria. I have never worked. I have not talked to people who have worked, but I wish you best of luck for that, sir. Best wishes, sir. Having said that, sir, so just while we were talking, while having a chat, you'd given an immensely good example of ownership difference between ownership and management was like during COVID times, one of your master was ill,
Yes.
and your company took just 2 minutes to decide that the ship needs to be diverted.
Absolutely.
On the other hand, for a management company to decide, taking approval from charterers, from owners, then discussing will it work, will it not work, it takes a lot of time. This I have seen firsthand myself as well.
So that's again, I come back to that because I told you, seafarers are very, very important to us. As I said, they are our real assets. So we will go all out to help them. In case of any kind of emergencies like, like a death on board or a near-death experience or something of that sort, we will go all out. So we will never abandon our seafarers. Whether it is covered by insurance or not covered, doesn't matter. He is our seafarer. We have put him on board. It's our duty to get him back safely home. So that's how we work. We work on that complete cycle. So this is very, very important. Now, in the last few years, you've seen there's a lot of these menace of drug carriage on board. A lot of drugs have been placed, ships coming out of South America and Central America. So a lot of innocent seafarers have been criminalized. We also had 2 ships who were stuck like this, but we fought till the last minute, the legal battle, and got them all home. As I'm speaking now, we also have 1 ship stuck in Lagos for about 1.5 years. We've been fighting for last 1.5 years. Today is the final hearing, and I'm so eagerly waiting for the final verdict because I have promised to the families that they are going to be home for Christmas. So I'm going to Manila today to meet the families again, and I hope.
So you are regularly in touch with the families.
Yes. We are regularly in touch with the families because we have to be, compassionate, and show them the confidence and that assurance that these guys will be back home. We have to get them back home.
They're getting the salaries,
Everything. And they're taken care of. We have even given them a bail so that they don't have to stay in the jail. We have housed them in a hotel. But again, they don't want to be in the hotel. They want to go home. Unfortunately, we have taken up to IMO. We have taken up to their respective governments in Philippines, but the legal process must follow because we follow the rules. We have had one of the top-notch lawyers to get them out. So all these kind of treatment and behavior will come only from an ownership background.
So ownership and good ownership, because I know a few companies those who abandon their seafarers. We do not know you. That is where the brand building is. Sir, the moment. Sir, again I'm coming to the yesterday's event. Seafarers telling me they did not talk much. They just told, okay, it's meet and greet, let's just enjoy over a dinner and over a treat, chalo, let's talk to each other. It was amazing. And while I was coming out, I was not expecting that goodie bag coming, and suddenly ma'am said, you're going, yes, okay, we got this. And when I came home, there's a fight happening at home. And the diaries, that was amazing. So thanks for that, sir. Thank you very much. So sir, this is between ownership and this is between management. You have given a clear idea, sir. Now, sir, let's come to the another basic part, that is you have got Filipinos, you have got Chinese, and you have got Indian crew. So there is a lot of things happening. Like I'll start with a story, sir. I like telling stories. So when I was in college, 2008, Chinese are coming up, buck up. Chinese are coming up, buck up. Mara job chala jayega, job will go buck up. Fine. It's been still today. Chinese have not come up. So how true is that and why? First of all, let's come to this, sir.
That is completely wrong if you ask me because I am talking from the ground reality. I've been going to China for last 2 years to select cadets. Now, unfortunately, the numbers are dwindling so fast, it's almost come to 0 now. It's so bad. Why? Because China, the economy has developed so fast, so many opportunities have been created. People don't want to sail now because they can get those shipping, shore-related jobs even without sailing or just by sailing for a few months. So the young seafarers, they don't want to sail. They're not keen on sailing for at least even for few years. So bad. Now what happens? Now this will have a cascading effect. Now if you have cadets who don't want to sail, how will you have junior officers? How will you have second engineers, the top 4, and eventually masters? Nothing. So given a span of say 5 to 10 years, the complete seafaring community will start dropping.
Chinese.
So, and you'll be surprised to know when we talk to the Chinese manning agents, they have now started opening offices in Philippines. So this is an eye opener, because the Chinese, they have this vision. They don't work on 5-year or 1-year plans. They work on 10, 20-year plan. So they have realized their country, they are not going to get people. So they have started preparing right from now, so that they have to man their ships. They own a lot of ships, a lot of bulk carriers, tankers. So they have already started collaborating with Philippine companies. They have opened their offices there and to recruit Philippine crew. Because that they have realized is a sustainable pool. So this is the story of China. So now this gives a solid boost to our Indian seafarer pool, where we have the abundance, we have the capability, we have the infrastructure. Just we need to tweak it and get them the employability. Once that is done, there is no stopping back.
So sir, chalo, China, as per you, no offense to any country out here, we are just giving our personalized opinions with experiences. From your side, is maybe on the lower side.
Yes.
So now there is Filipino market, there is Indian market, and any other market which
There's
Ukrainian
Africa
market.
coming up.
Africa is coming up, Ethiopia is coming up, Africa is coming up.
You have Ukraine, which got a little bit distorted because of the war. But it's again resumed, but on a lower scale. It's not like that level.
So the whole shipping community today is majorly banking on Philippines, right, sir?
Number 2 is India.
Number 2 is India. So what is difference? Now this is very, very important. I make a lot of shit videos on those things because I do not have knowledge. I just made with my personal limited experience. But you are crewing so many people in Philippines. Now you are talking to seafarers in India. What is the difference between Filipino seafarers and Indian seafarers?
Yeah. Okay, this is a very valid, very important question. So I will answer it in a very tricky way. Because what is happening in Philippines, seafaring is a profession of choice. People love to become seafarers. You go to any province or anybody, you talk to, what do you want to become? I want to become a seaman. Now, you don't get that in India, unfortunately. There is quite a smaller segment.
Very small.
Very small segment. But in Philippines, that number is huge. So that is the reason why they have so many colleges, so many people who want to join the sea, because they see their seniors who have really done well. They have really grown up, gone up the ladder and made big houses, and it's very appealing to a young boy who has starry dreams. So it gives them a scope to really change his or her life from a very poor background to a really rich person with a lot of satisfaction, and they see it as a long-term career. You will not see a Filipino looking for a short job. They are very reluctant for short jobs. They say, I'm very happy, I want to sail. So actually, from a crewing perspective, they are one of our best choices, because they will come on time. You don't have to chase them. They will do 9 months, 3 months. Again, they say, I want to join.
I want to join.
Yes.
That.
So that helps the crewing companies very, in their planning and other things. And that is one thing which is slightly missing in India. Again, because people don't see it as a sustainable career. Of course, India also, you have masters sailing for 20 years, chief, but the numbers are much less compared to India.
Sir, for us it was, sir, even for you, sir, we are Indians out here.
Correct.
Merchant Navy was not by choice. It was by chance.
By chance or
because of majburi.
Correct.
Because of maybe we did not have other options. Money was not there. Like, sir, but sir, again, it's a huge community which can make wonders. I'll tell you, sir, I'll tell you a yesterday story only. I was talking to, I won't name the captain because I have not taken his permission. Captain was talking. He's a very senior captain in a well-known management shipping company. And he was telling her, I'm very happy I'm doing sailing. I was, sir, आप sailing करिए sir. कहते, I do not know anything apart from sailing, buddy.
Right.
I enjoy playing sports. I play cricket. I play basketball, badminton, सब खेलता हूँ. कहते, I was a 70% guy. I was 65% guy. Today I have made so much. I earned respect, status, money wise. I could not have done it anywhere else.
Absolutely.
While doing a job. I've enjoyed my life and I love it. For the people in India, for tier 3, I'm not talking about Delhi, Mumbai, but for Dehradun, Paonta Sahib, Almora, tier 3, tier 4 cities, this is where the real market for merchant navy lies, because people have got dreams but they do not have money, they do not have resources, and this is the only profession where you get a job even before you get into a college.
Absolutely.
Along with getting an education loan, sir.
Yes.
Along with getting an education loan. One of my students at GMD Academy, his father sells shoes at a roadside. He's a street hawker and his son is in fleet management. So many students at GMD Academy, someone's mother is a conductor in Uttarakhand Railways. Somebody's father is somebody is a first time student who has become a officer from his own village or district, because all others have gone on in crewing, or the rating side. So the difference is being made. Somebody is a truck driver, somebody's son is a tempo driver, and his son has become an officer in merchant navy. So these are the stories that we are able to create, and that is creating immense it creates an immense happiness, sir.
Absolutely.
So each merchant navy officer that we produce from out here, he is not just making his life difference in his life, but is creating life difference in his life of his whole family, sir.
Yes. And that word will spread. It will go across the village.
It is happening, sir, and that is where our growth has been. It's growing phenomenally well with the good word of mouth, and sir, it will keep continuing till the time we keep working with gaining the trust part. Anyway, sir, coming back to Filipinos and Indians. So one is they have profession by choice.
Correct.
They want long contracts. Good for crewing companies because they have to spend less on travel, and they want to. And you see future with them because अगर वो आ जाए, he will stay for another 20 years with you or in sailing profession.
Correct.
Unlike Indians, we not all, but most of us want faster promotions. Like I switched company, I want faster promotions, and I was looking not for stagnancy.
So that's also okay.
The moment I switched the company, I was very happy with CLN because waiting period increased. I did not want to waste my time, and the moment I became a chief here, I was looking forward for an ownership company.
Correct.
Till the time I started my own business. So where do you feel that Indians fit right, or here they are very good, and here Filipinos are very good?
Actually, when you talk about academics and clearing exams and that drive for promotions, Indians are much ahead. Because Filipinos, they generally try to stay in their comfort zone. They are not that academically brighter. Professionally, they may be equal or whatever, but when it comes to giving exams, they're a bit reluctant. They go slow. It takes about, say, 12 years plus for them to become a master or chief engineer. The brighter guys. The mediocre guys will take even longer time, or they'll be reluctant for promotions. But for Indians, that drive is very good. Now, when you have this drive for faster promotions, it's good for the company also. Though companies are reluctant to promote, but they see this fire in the belly thing and they see that drive, and that is actually good for the company. And again, if people do 10, 15 years or at least 10 years and they leave, it doesn't matter. You always have a new supply also, because that's where the sustainability is.
And that is where you are investing on the cadets.
Absolutely. So cadets are there, cadets are coming. So it's all right if a master or chief engineer retires after 10 years. Then a new guy is always groomed up to take over his position. So the cycle goes on. So which is okay. And then of course he can again look for other options in or shipping or outside shipping as per his choice.
Okay. So sir, I have sailed with Filipino crew. Now let's come to the rating background. Yeah. Sir, I have sailed with Filipino crew and I have sailed with Indian crew. On one hand, where I was very, very comfortable with Indian crew, talking terms, discussing. But when it came to work ethics, please do not get offended, guys. This is what my experience is. I found Filipino rating guys to be more professional in terms of cleaning. मतलब अगर बोला है साफ होगा तो बिल्कुल चकाचक. But they will be very, very thing with the time.
Yes.
5 o'clock they have to leave, they have to go. So you have to be very, very good. 5 बजे 5 o'clock I have to leave him.
Yes.
Whereas with the Indian crew you can manage it. अच्छे वैसे खींच ले यार सर. So there, both of them have got their pros and cons. Sir.
I think it's a more of a cultural thing, because the Filipinos, they've got used to that monotonous working. So they follow these standards and they know that if you maintain all these timings, then there's less fatigue and they can give you greater output. Indians generally we can stretch ourselves a little more, which is sometimes not good, but otherwise fatigue sets in. So if delicately balanced, that's also okay. So but yeah, these are, I think, cultural differences, and you have to tune yourself according to the crew you're working with. So that both are acceptable.
So far your experience with Indian crew has been, that is why you have, from 4 you have come to 20 ships, right?
Yes,
sir?
yes.
And I hope within a time of 2 to 3 years, these people do amazingly well on board ship, so that more Indians are employed, and that is where Indians get a job, guys.
Yes.
But the people say, sir, I want to tell you one thing. Many people say that jobs नहीं है. Even आपने भी सुना होगा कि Indian market में jobs नहीं है, so many flooded. Sir, I want to clear this thing air with you right now over here, sir. Sir, after this open CDC came in, most of the people, those who thought कि यार open CDC करके चला जाऊंगा, and they join shipping, sir. Sir, in a good company, they are unemployable, sir. They cannot speak even 3 sentences in English.
That is difficult.
They cannot write 3 sentences in English, not speak, not write. Sir, how will a good shipping company employ them?
Yes, actually we are not looking for high English levels, but you should
Certain
maritime English levels you should comply, because that is where the Chinese had lost out, because the Chinese ratings speak 0 English. It's only the top 4 officers speak English. But then that combination has been working for 20 years. But you can't do that with Indians, because Indians, people have higher expectations. India is still an English speaking country compared to China. So the expectations are there to at least conform to the maritime English level, so that you have better communication, less accidents, other issues.
Sir, apart from that, second biggest challenge is attitude.
Yeah.
The same guy is getting an open city is mentally prepared that I don't want to study. मैं पैसा देगा और शिप पे जाएगा. I'll pay money and I'll go on ship. Now, once that attitude comes in, you are not ready to work hard. You want money to play and you sell your land, father's land, mother's land, and you take this. So, how can you imagine that you'll grow?
Yeah, that's very disturbing actually, and this needs to be curbed by the government, because this will only deter new people.
New people, because the market sense is Indians के अंदर, अरे there are so many flooded. Whenever somebody comes, they tell, अरे India में तो इतने सारे seafarers they do not have a job. My question is, are they employable or not? And if they are not employable, we have to work on the basics right now to make them employable.
Absolutely. On
the training, and that is the most important thing. And if the person who does not want to learn, he cannot be taken as a part of that. He did not get a job. It is not our accountability to get a job to a person who is not able to work on his attitude.
Yeah, absolutely. Because this is a demanding profession. It's not an easy job, but then people can be trained to perform. It's not a problem.
Any day, sir. Any
It's
day.
not rocket science. You don't require very high education to join seafaring. So that's one thing. And then I always get surprised when people tell that there are not enough jobs and all that. There are so many countries like Russia, the Russian fleet also, because of their trading pattern and other issues with their crew, visa issues and all that. Many Russian owners have shifted to Indian crew. So this is again, there is a boost.
And great opportunity. And suppose these people perform well, and suddenly Russian owners realize, "Arey, Indians are better than Russians." So this is business, not about nationalism.
But let me tell you,
Anji.
Indian seafarers already have a brand.
They have a brand, sir.
It just needs to be maintained with the new generation coming in. There's a lot of hard work which has been done by our seniors. So this has to be maintained.
So what kind of brand, I'm feeling very happy right now, what kind of brand are you talking about when, say, outside the world, like go to Philippines and you talk about Indian seafarers, what image comes to their mind?
Basically, when you talk about an Indian seafarer, the owners or the charterers or the operators, they'll look at somebody who's intellectual, he's smart, he can give you solutions. He's a solutions provider. And then the communication is very good, very easy to communicate. So these are things which are very essential for shipping. So these are actually the major KPIs, for an Indian seafarer. And if he can fulfill that, there's no stopping back.
Great. Sir, now let's come to the shore opportunities. Sir, Pacific Basin, apart from owning 112 bulk carriers, they've got around 250 chartered bulk carriers. So now, can you elaborate a bit on chartered bulk carriers, and what kind of business, what kind of opportunities can these seafarers have in commercial shipping?
Yeah, actually, we as I said, we own about 112 ships, and we charter them, fix their COAs and all that. But apart from that, because we've been in the market for so long, we have a lot of access to various other COAs and cargoes availability. So we need to charter in vessels from the market at the market rate, or maybe short-term or long-term charters. So there we do about 250 ships plus every year. So that gives us a big market coverage and share for certain cargoes. So having said that, this gives opportunities, because when we do these post fixture operations for even for chartering and other things, it gives a lot of opportunities for this shore-based posting for operators, chartering assistants, chartering managers. So that is where again this is a transition we allow for people from the deck side or even from engine side to go into chartering and operations. So that's one option which is created. Of course, looking after 112 ships, technical management creates openings for technical officers and superintendents to look after the technical side. But then opportunities always get created. So that's one thing with an ownership background also.
Okay, guys, I'll just put it in a more simplified, because most of these people might not understand. See, Pacific Basin has got their own 112 ships, fine, but these are ownership. This is an ownership company, so they've got ships, they've got the people, those who want their cargo to be sent from one place to another place. They say, okay, you've got ships, okay, send. But sometimes the demand is more. They've got people who say, hey, we have got cargo, but you have got no ships. So they say, okay, we'll hire ships for you as well. So this is where chartering, ship brokering comes into play. This is commercial shipping, guys, and I'll be coming up with a lot more videos so that you get awareness about that as well. So merchant navy for you guys is not just about sailing. There are a hell lot of avenues out there apart from that. Having said that, this is where the question comes into play. Let's know. So at the last part of the podcast, I'm asking for the first time from a guest, about himself, because sir started his career as sailor, but then he did a lot of shore jobs, and today is a crewing head. So sir, now sorry sir for being so late.
No, no, no.
Please a brief introduction on yourself, sir. Please.
Okay, better late than never. So yeah, as we discussed, I did my graduation from DMET in 1994. I passed out. I was very lucky. Those times were the boom times for shipping. We got a job in Wallam. We did about 8 years with Wallam. Then we did 1 year as chief engineer in fleet management, and that company was expanding. So they brought me ashore. I didn't really expect at that time, because I wanted to sail longer. I wanted to sail 5-10 years as chief engineer to learn, get the feel of the sea. But unfortunately, it was not happening for me. The company was expanding. I helped them with some technical problem solving. So they found that they had some potential. So I came ashore in 2003, and at that time there was no immediate opening in Hong Kong. So they told me to set up the training institute in Mumbai. So we fitted the first engine and navigation simulator. That's the second simulator from ARI actually. So that's how we started. We got an Indian DOC also for FMIPL. So that was, I'm very thankful and grateful to fleet management for giving me this break. And then after that, it was no looking back. Once you start on, it's the ball goes rolling. So everything falls in place after that. When I was transferred to Hong Kong, I did about 3 years with them. Then I shifted to Wallam. That was my parent company. I did about 2 years with them. Then I was looking for growth options and other things. Then I joined Anglo Eastern, which was at that time very reputed. So it was a long journey with Anglo Eastern. I learned a lot from that company. It's a very reputed company. I always respect Anglo Eastern for that. About 6.5 years I spent with them. And then again, you have this urge to grow higher and higher, look at other opportunities in Hong Kong itself. So then I joined Pacific Basin in 2014. And then it's about now almost 11 years. I'll be finishing 11 years next month. It's a wonderful experience, and I've been lucky actually going through these changes, positive changes for me. About 2 years back, there was an opportunity for me because our crewing head was retiring, Captain Bill Metcalf. So I stood up for this challenge because it was very challenging, because crewing was almost at the verge of collapse after the COVID scenario. The entire world was shaken up. So it was very challenging to rebuild the crewing image and the crewing perspective. So that's when I took over, and it's been challenging for sure because but then yeah, it's been very interesting. I was just about 50 when I changed over, so still we had to rewire my brain because I was more technical. So and now what I see is when I'm doing crewing, I talk less, listen more. In technical, I was doing the other thing. I was talking more, listening less. So that's good. I'm learning quite new things from the seafarers. I interact very closely with them. So this has actually rekindled my human touch. So I realized that I'm a people's man actually.
Okay, great.
So that was something that gives me a lot of sense of fulfillment. My empathy, my EQ has gone up, and that's nice for me. I really am enjoying it actually. So there are a lot of people who ask me, sir, how did you change from technical, because it's such a very complex change? I said, it was difficult, but it's nice. I am quite grateful that I got this opportunity actually, and I'm enjoying it. That's something which I like actually. Great. Maybe I should have done this 5-10 years back, I don't know. But then there's a time for everything. Opportunity should come. But then once it comes, if you grab it, you eventually go along with it.
Sir, you started your career in sailing at the age of?
21.
21. You sailed till the age of?
About 30.
30. Then you were in technical management till the age of?
Till 49.
49. And now you are into crewing.
Yes.
So around 10 years you sailed. Then for the next 20 years, 2 decades approximately, you were into technical management, and then now you are in crewing, sir. So for all those people, those who are technical managers right now, any advice you would want to give, like my batchmates, yours, juniors in college, those who are technical superintendents, senior technical superintendents, like any advice from your experience in technical management, like you became a technical manager, senior technical, then fleet manager, any advice for these people? Directly looking into the camera, sir.
Actually, technical is actually, for engineers, this is actually a forte. You can do it very easily. But then again, having done it for many years, sometimes it can get a bit monotonous. So that is when people start looking for other opportunities. So it is not that people who are in technical cannot go into chartering or crewing or any other maritime law. And it's not that it's designated for a certain lobby. So opportunities are always there. It's just you have to rewire your brain and be open and be adaptive. If that can be there, you can almost do any job. It doesn't matter at all.
Great. So today you are into crewing. What is the difference that you've, like one difference you told between crewing and technical is, in crewing you have to listen more, speak less. In technical you speak more, listen less. I hope none of my batchmen's technical superintendent get offended listening to this. So, but any other challenges that you are facing in crewing which were not there in technical apart from this?
Yeah, actually, in crewing, basically the human factor kicks in. Technical, if something is broken, piston is broken, you change the piston and it works. It's so simple. But then when you're dealing with humans, it's not like that. Everything might look good, everything is with a good intention, but things may not work out the way you want. There are issues of mental health, there are issues of attitude, and issues of skills and competency. So these are few things that becomes very challenging. There's no like a thumb rule that you put a chief in and the ship will run properly. You can say, he has got the license, he's got the experience. No, it's not enough. There are many other hidden factors which we cannot see. And so when you're recruiting, there's a big risk involved. It's not simple like changing a spare part. When you change a chief, you're not changing a spare part. You're putting a person whom you don't know will perform or will not perform. Only time will tell. So there's a big risk in recruitment. So it's a calculated risk. Of course, you check his credentials, you do his reference checks, you see his performance. But eventually you will actually know him only when he has a problem. Otherwise you will feel that everything went well, everything was good. But even one of the best chief engineers may not perform in a time of an emergency. So then that risk factor is always there. So that makes it a little bit difficult.
More challenging.
Yeah.
Because there are a lot of factors which are not in your hand.
Yeah, and you cannot see, it's not visible.
And maybe, sir, can I say this way, that for 20 years you were into technical management, became easy for you.
Yes.
And now it's been just 2 years.
Yeah.
So maybe in a few years' time you will be very pro with this part as well, because you'll know people, you'll understand people more easily, culturally wise, thinking wise. Maybe there'll be a time when just by looking at person you'll be able to make out whether he's telling, whether he's reading.
Yeah, even in technical you are very close to your top 4 at least.
Agreed.
Not with the ratings so much, but top 4 you are very close. So you generally know their mindset, how they think, what is their way of approach and what are their pain points. So you have a general idea and then you just need to fill up the blanks basically to meet their requirements. That's the thing. So when you are in technical you are in touch with crewing, but not as recruitment, not on those lines. But then the touch is always there. So it makes an easier transition.
So now that we are talking about recruitment, let's talk about the most important thing that is working in shipping apart from ESG, decarbonization, that is incoming of female seafarers.
Yes.
So sir, in the last 2 to 3 years there has been sudden influx of female seafarers. Every company wants a female seafarer. I'll be very honest, sometimes I feel, but sometimes not even looking at competency at times.
No, that should not be the case. Yeah.
Sometimes I do feel, because today companies are not saying that I need a good girl candidate. 20 girl candidates are there, we want them all. 25 girl candidates are, we want them all. Now, I talked to one of my batchmates who will be talking to Praveen Gupta, a sensible guy, he's my partner in JMDI. He told, when you start something new, you have to give certain advantages to people. You might find, maybe you'll find 18 competent, maybe 2 will be incompetent. But you will have to take those risks. Yes. Because initial time pay, when it's a male dominated industry, you would have to take those so that you make it a male plus female equally dominated industry. So those were his words and I got convinced. Are you convinced, sir?
Yes, actually I agree with him. But then what he said also is that we should not compromise on the quality. You should not give jobs to females just because they are female. No, that is very, very wrong. It's unethical. Yes, we do want to have this inclusion. We want to expand the workforce. That is the main idea or the whole crux behind this matter. Why we want female is basically to expand the workforce. We do not want them to be deprived of this opportunity to sail. This seafaring career is quite good for males also, but they also can even join in and perform and cash out of this industry. Having said that, yeah, there are a lot of challenges because, as you know, we are looking at less than 2% of females now in the shipping industry. And then if you want to increase it to a little higher level, you need to train them and then you have to align them to the industry, which is very, very important. We are having now about 57 female seafarers in our entire pool of say 4,600 seafarers. Now that's a very small number, less than 1.3%, and we are targeting to about 3% by 2030. So numbers are there, they are available, but then we need the ones who are suitable and adaptable to this profession. It is a challenge, and we have been aligning our male seafarers and been telling them for over a year now that these females are coming, you need to support them for the first few years to align them to the market. Once they are aligned, then there is no stopping back. Then they fly, they grow up, But that initial vulnerability stays. We do have issues of sexual harassment and other bullying on board. So we have put we have a zero tolerance for all these things, and we take action irrespective of whether he's a master or chief engineer, because we practice what we preach. So that's how we work, and we will continue to take female cadets, and we will go in a step-by-step process, not just filling up the numbers. So that's very important.
Sir, talking to you, I'm really impressed by the culture that maybe Pacific Basin is setting in. Maybe I'm saying because I'm talking. I'll tell you why, sir. So when I get a guest out here, I want to talk to them. I tell them, "Are you comfortable taking the name of the company?" And sometimes they say, "No, we are not." And then I make a podcast or I talk to them, even behind the scenes, not taking the name. Sometimes people are not comfortable even coming on the camera because their company might know. And out here, you are not asking for anybody's permission and saying we are transparent. We are who we are. You talked about sexual harassment out here. You talked about that there is a ship stuck with the drugs thing in Lagos for 1.5 years. You talked about it without even blinking an eye, and this shows the trust that the top management has in its people and the people have in the top management, that we are transparent. And sir, I believe this is the culture that takes you forward. And that was the reason, sir, when I took you forward to GMD Academy's round, it was transparency. I did not know what will happen when I open a student's room, whether I will see a good room or I will see a shitty room. I do not know, sir. So as much it's a surprise for you, it's equally a surprise for me as well. And that is why I asked your favorite number and told you I'll take you to that number. I do not know what is going to go. So that is what I like, sir, and I really commend if the management has taken so many steps to make sure that transparency stays there. And I think so this is what GMD Academy would love to learn more, so that we make such a team, and that is where the thing lies. So last but not the least, again, sir, I am a person who is a capitalist by mind. Profits run into my mind all the time, and yes, I want to make a difference in people's life, because I believe if they succeed, my success lies in their success.
Yeah.
So sir, why such a suddenly influx of female seafarers by all companies? Is it some sort of brand building? Is it some sort of a legal thing given by IMO, instructions given by countries? I do not know, but can you put some views into this?
Actually, it's a blend of all these things. IMO is not pushing; they are encouraging, because, as I said, the basic idea behind this is to improve the workforce, to increase the numbers, and then of course we have this ESG coming in, sustainability, and also we have the diversity and equity inclusion. This is the new concept where we feel that an organization can only thrive when you have diversity and you have this inclusion of people. So there's more acceptance within the organization, between the employees. So this gives an opportunity for everybody to improve themselves and work freely. That's something very important. So that's where we felt that over the years we have not been including them. So it's high time we open up and include them into our profession. And there is no restriction. They can do whatever we do. They need to be trained, and they need to be supported in the initial phase, where they are a little bit vulnerable. But after that, you have female masters, you have chief officers, second engineers, chief engineers. They are doing absolutely great. And there's no reason to deprive the younger generation of this opportunity. So, of course, you need to support them for the initial phase compared to a male candidate, that we agree. But then that's okay. It's not, that's not out of the world kind of a thing. So I feel that they are here to stay, and it is just that the industry woke up late, in my view. You always had Russians, Polish women, Turkish women sailing, and it's just that India and Philippines have caught up. Philippines is caught up in a bigger way because they are more enterprising compared to Indian girls. But Indian girls are more determined. If you give them the opportunity, of course they will perform. I just did an interview of about 10 female cadets last week. I was really impressed with their academic knowledge and that fire in the belly, which is that drive to go up. I was very impressed. So I would say that we have been depriving them of this opportunity for many years, being a male-dominated industry. So actually I am apologetic for it, but then that's how the industry was, and people were not really savvy to join this. But then now the inhibitions have gone, it's opening up. We are already, we have an open mindset. So then I think this will work, and just need to provide the grounds for them to, grow up. And then there's no looking back.
Guys, for those who want to join Pacific Basin presently is taking from BTech Engineering, Marine Engineering students from MERI Kolkata and MERI Mumbai, and they are taking their BSc Nautical Science students from TS Chanakya. Any other plans to diversify to other colleges as of now, sir?
Yes, we have just started. We did some interviews from Ganpat University. We are planning to take some female cadets from there, engine cadets, and also from AMET. We have just finished some interviews, and we wanted to expand. So basically, as I said, we have these slots, 2 slots per ship every year. So we have slots, so we will expand. We are in touch with the colleges. So there's no looking back.
With this, guys, it was an amazing interview, sir. Thank you very much, sir, for being such a lovely guest and sharing your opinions without any biases or opinions that might offend someone. Thank you very much, sir, for this lovely podcast. It was a great learning experience for me as well.
Too. Yeah, it was a great experience. Thank you for calling me. I was very much impressed with your academy, what you're doing. I think this will give you fantastic results in the coming future.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat, Jai Mata Di. If you want to know more, you can share your comment section. I will try to get more people from the industry to share their knowledge, to share their information, because this is the one thing that has been lacking in our industry. And let me tell you, shipping industry is there to stay in India. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat, Jai Mata Di.